Alright, Unit 2, video 4, variables on both sides. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing we did with multi-step. Make sure you draw the line. Okay, as you can see, we have variables on both sides and we have numbers on both sides. The whole thing is to get variables on one side, numbers on the other. Okay, so you can do many different things. You can move the smaller variable or take everything to the right side. It really doesn't matter. Okay, if you're okay with negatives, you can move everything to the left side. Okay, so I have, I have this x and then this x. So they're on opposite sides of the equation, so I need to make sure I get them together. So I'm going to move them. And whenever you move something from one side of the equation to another, you always change the coefficient. So for example, if I'm going to take this negative x and move it over here, I'm going to do the opposite and I'm going to add x. Okay, that gets rid of it over here, so I'm left with 32 equals, and then 4x plus x is 5x, and then bring down my 17. Okay, now it's just a two-step equation. So this is multiplication and this is addition. So I'm going to get rid of my addition first. So I'm going to subtract 17. Okay, so this is going to be 15 equals 5x. The 17's go away. Now do your division, divide by 5, and x equals 3. And there's my answer. Alright, so on this one, what they're wanting to do is solve and get the property we used. Okay, so the same thing that we had last time, where we have y's over here and we have y's over here. So I'm going to get them together. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one, my negative 2.9y, and I'm going to move it. Okay, so that means I got to do the opposite, which means I'm adding. Okay, so this is the addition property because I added. Alright, so those cancel, and I have negative 2.14. And then on this side I have 2.3y and 2.9, which gives me 5.2y plus the 4.1. Okay? And now, once you get the variables over, it's a two-step equation. So now I need to take my 4.1 and move it to the other side. So I'm going to do the opposite. Okay, make sure if you're not using a calculator that you line up your decimals when you're adding or subtracting. Okay, so if you want to add a 0, they're both negative. So I'm going to add both of them. So 4, 2, 6, and then that would be a negative. Okay, now I'm going to divide by 5.2. So isolate the y. And I get 1.2, and it's a negative divided by a positive, so the answer is negative 1.2. Okay, now go back. I didn't write all my properties, so I did addition. Here, I did subtraction, so I'm going to go ahead and put subtraction. Okay, and then here, I divided, so I'm going to go back and put division. Okay, so you're just telling what property. Did I add, subtract, did I distribute, did I multiply? You're just telling us what you did on those. All right, next one. All right, draw my line. Okay. Now on this one, you got to be careful because you can see I have a whole bunch of z's, 2 on the left side, 2 on the right side. So I need to get them all together, okay? But before I start moving, I'm going to combine the ones that are on the left side. So I have 3z minus 5z, which gives me negative 2z. Okay. Bring everything else down, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and take this one and move it to the other side. So it's a negative 2z, so I'm going to add 2z. So I'm going to add 2z to the left side. Okay, that cancels. I'm left with a 6 equals, bring down my negative 4. Now look what happens here. I have a negative 2z plus a 2z, which actually gives me 0z. But remember, that's multiplication. What happens when you multiply 0 times anything? It's 0, so it goes away. So right now I have negative 4 equals 6. There's no variable. Okay, so there's two options when there's no variable. Okay, the one is all real numbers, and then the other one is no solution. Okay, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen some of this. Okay, All real numbers is if it were a true statement. Okay, is -4 equal to 6? It's not. No solution is false. So this would be a no solution answer. Okay, again, if it's a true statement, for example, 4 equals 4, then it's all real numbers. If it's a false statement, it's a no solution. All right, last one is our word problem. A backpack company spends $1,400 each day for overhead expenses, plus $25 per backpack, labor, and materials. The backpacks sell for $39 each. How many backpacks must the company sell in one day to equal its daily costs? Okay, so this is going to be, we're going to have two equations. Okay, we want the left side to equal the right side. Okay, so we're going to have information on the left side, information on the right side. Now what they want is how much money they're getting to equal how much they're spending. Okay, so on the left side, let's do spending. All right, and then on the right side, we're going to do profit. Okay. All right, so first of all, the backpacks, how many they have, that's going to be our unknown. So we're going to use a B for that. All right. Okay. So let's look at backpack company spends $1,400 each day. Now, does it matter how many backpacks they have? No, it's $1,400 every day they're going to spend. Okay. It doesn't matter how many they make. Doesn't matter how much time they're there. It's $1,400 period, no matter what. Okay. Now, they also spend $25 per backpack for labors and materials. This does matter how many they sell, because if they only make 2 backpacks, they're only spending $50, 3, and so on. But we don't know how many they're going to make. We want it to be even. So this is where our unknown comes in. So this is going to be 25B. Okay. So their spending is $1,400 every day, plus $25 per backpack they make. Now profit, okay? So profit comes back here and they sell each backpack for $39. Okay? So that is going to be 39B. Okay? So how much they spend, we want to equal the profit. Okay? All right, now we have just a 2-step equation like what we're used to. So we have variables on both sides. Okay, so we need to make sure we get them onto the one side. Now here's the thing. If you look at this side, over here, okay, you only have one term. On this side you have 2 terms. Okay, so I highly recommend never moving the one term. Okay, so I'm going to leave my 39B here, and I'm going to move my 25B over to the other side. Okay, never move anything from a side when it's the only thing there. Okay, you can still do it, but we tend to mess up a little bit on that. Okay, so I want to go ahead and draw my line, and I want my 39B to stay, so I'm going to move my 25B to the right side. Okay, that cancels, and I have 1,400 equals 39B minus 25B is 14B. Divide by 14. And B equals 100. So they are going to have to make 100 backpacks a day to break even. Okay? So if they make 101 backpacks, they're going to have a profit. If they make 99 backpacks, they're going to have a loss.